to talk about today. I got the recording going. So let's dive right on in. So with lead generation and when it comes to our businesses, there's really two sides to it, right? There's the growth side of the business and there's the running side of the business. Today, we're going to really focus on the growth aspect and really on the top one, lead generating for buyers and sellers. So have you guys already talked about the lead generation model and gone through that in some of the other classes, or is this all brand new?
New.
Okay,
We've gone over some lead generation, at least I have in the past.
perfect. So what does prospecting mean to you? When you guys think of the word prospecting, somebody chime in, what does prospecting mean?
Well, the way that I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like prospecting is more of an active, is more of an action based. You know, you're actively going out, you're doing something to generate the leads for yourself. Whether that be, you know, door knocking or Facebook, but not actually not Facebook. I think more interactive, more active.
I love that answer. Yeah. Thank you so much, Candice. Anybody else have any ideas on what prospecting means, or what does prospecting mean to you? Hey, May.
Hello. I didn't miss you. I mean, your training.
It's
I
good
mean,
to see you.
not
May
like
was on my
that.
book team.
Yeah. I didn't miss
So,
your training.
May, I'm going to call you out. What does prospecting mean to you?
What does prospecting means to me? Talking to people.
Talking to people.
Real estate. Talking to people, real estate.
Talking to people about real estate. Absolutely. So prospecting is the lead generation effort that is proactive and direct. So very much to Candice's point, it's really actively, proactively going out and finding leads to put into our database. So today, we're going to be talking about connecting prospecting to lead generation. What does that mean? What does that look like? We're going to talk about and deep dive into different prospecting methods. We're going to talk about how do we develop an action plan, and then we're going to put it all together. So here is what we call the lead generation model. So Keller Williams is all about systems and models. And when it comes to lead generation, we have to have a system and a model. So up here, you guys see prospecting and marketing. Today, we're really going to be focused on the prospecting aspect. So we will touch a little bit on the marketing. However, it's mostly going to be talking about the prospecting aspect. When you first capture a lead, right, they're either going to be a lead or a contact. Do you guys know the difference between the two?
Yes.
All right, what is it?
A lead is, I forget the exact wording, but a lead is someone that you're having a one-way conversation with, specifically about what their real estate goal is right now. And a contact is someone that you already know that you're having a two-way conversation with that can turn into a lead at any time if they mention having that specific goal.
Garrett is here, and Garrett is right. I love it. Thank you so much, Garrett.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Leads are people who have raised their hand and have somewhat shown interest in one way or another, and you have a one-way conversation or communication with them. A contact, exactly like Garrett said, is somebody who you have now cultivated some sort of relationship with, and you're able to have a two-way interaction and be able to communicate with them on a value-based touch program. Once you're connected to them, you're going to cultivate the lead. And the way we cultivate is making sure that we're touching on them, creating top of mind awareness, which we'll talk about, getting them into appointments, going active, under contract, and then closing them. So when we're talking about prospecting, it's really important that we talk about the two M's, the message and the method. So lead generation should always be purposeful and intentional. Lead generation is essentially, as you guys already know, it's the life and the backbone to our entire business. So lead generation is taking a message and using a method to drive that message to a desired audience, right? So one of the things where I see new agents struggle is they learn a script, they get really good at that script, and then they go practice that script on the wrong people, right? So you have a great message, however, the method that you're going out about it is wrong, and the audience that you're talking to about it is not the best one. So what we're going to talk about today is, what is that message? How do we tailor it to that audience? How do we find that audience? And how do we effectively communicate it? So when the question comes up, and I'm going to open it up to the group here, and somebody asks, so what do you do? How do you answer that question? Who here has their elevator pitch?
I help people build wealth through real estate.
Ooh, I love that. I help people build wealth through real estate. Love that. Who else?
I help buyers and sellers achieve their real estate goals through personalized service.
I help buyers and sellers achieve their goals through specialized service. Heck yeah. Who else? Who here has ever been at a party or something and somebody asks, oh, so what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm in real estate. Oh, I'm a realtor. Right? That's the easy answer. So this isn't in the materials, but I'm going to give it to you guys because I think it's really, really important. Start with why. Start with your big why and get really, really good at communicating that. So when somebody asks me, what do I do for a living? I say, I change lives. What? Takes them back a little bit. I change lives. I help people buy, sell, and invest in real estate. And because of that, I'm able to give back and serve at an extremely high level. So I'm able to sponsor foster dogs and dogs that are at rescues, be able to get rescued and find their forever families. And you guys see the guitars. With every house I sell, I donate an instrument to a local school or to a less fortunate child. So I change lives. And all of a sudden, that is a much more engaging conversation than just, I'm in real estate or I'm a realtor. So write down why you got into real estate. If you got into real estate, it's usually one of two reasons: freedom of time, making tons of money, right? Freedom of time, financially free. That's what we talk about all the time. Get really, really good at explaining why you're going after it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So when you're working on your message and getting your message out there, really ask yourself, what makes me unique? I asked this to my team. I see Ramon is on here. We've been talking about this for like the last month, which is developing your unique value proposition. Write down, what is my superpower? What can I do better than anybody else? And I'll tell you guys this: commitment, dedication, showing up. You don't need talent for any of those things. You don't. Like, you could be the least talented person in the world and you can still show up. and you can still be committed. So there's two primary methods of getting our message out to our target group: prospecting and marketing. So again, today we're going to mostly be talking about the prospecting side. And let me ask you guys this. Why is it best to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced? Why do you guys think we start with the prospecting piece?
Because
Well,
word of the mouth, they are going to give us a referral. It's going to create eventually marketing. Live people, real people, when they talk about you in a good way, it's like best marketing ever. You cannot buy that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Creating a crazy, awesome experience, getting people to talk about it, creating raving fans. Absolutely. I saw there's a couple other people that wanted to chime in. Why else do we say start with prospecting?
well, I was going to say that I think what I've learned thus far coming to these trainings is that, real estate is very relationship based, and prospecting really allows you to have that one-on-one interaction with somebody rather than marketing. I think marketing, the enhanced part is you should already be out in your community. You should already be exposing yourself, and people should see you in some capacity so that when they see your ad, they're like, oh, hey, I remember that person. They were at, the neighborhood mixer, or they were at the basketball game at the high school, or, they match your name, they see your face, they recognize you. It begins where they have to have a familiarity with you, and it breeds trust, I think.
Absolutely. To Candace's point, like, we are in a relationship-based business. The more relationships we have, the more relationships we're in with people, the bigger we can build our business, right? And all of a sudden it's a lot easier, so that when they start seeing our marketing, when they start seeing our flyers or our postcards, they're like, hey, I know Candace. She's that really, really nice lady. Oh, and she also happens to sell a ton of homes. That's awesome. Anybody else have any ideas as to why we start with prospecting rather than marketing?
I would say prospecting is the easiest way probably to jumpstart your business, because it is an active way of getting into your community as opposed to passively marketing, and you actually get a response from the community that you're trying to build your business within.
100%, Julia, you win. You win the prize for the Monday morning.
Yay.
Absolutely. Being proactive with prospecting keeps you in front of people, right? It's really being active versus being reactive. The other reason we say is, who here has one of these? Right? We all have our phones. So we're already paying for this. How much more does it cost us to actually use it to call people? Nothing, right? We're all on like unlimited plans. It doesn't cost us anything. Like, we don't have minutes anymore. So literally, we're already paying for our phones. It costs us nothing extra to actually use it to call people. Crazy concept, right? So prospecting is cheap, right? Door knocking costs you the cost of printing, time and effort, right? As you can see on the slide, prospecting is able to offer you immediate results. It's proactive, and yes, it is time intensive. But guess what? You're brand new. You have nothing else to do anyway, so go out and talk to people, right? Marketing, on the other hand, is money intensive. It's passive. And marketing is great, to Candace's point, to build long-term results, right? Build trust in the community. When people continue to see your ads, continue to see your face, it builds trust. It builds rapport. At the same time, the reason why we always talk about prospecting first, being prospecting based and marketing enhanced, is because prospecting is cheap. We always talk about leading with revenue. And when we're starting out, we want to make sure that we're using all of our resources to the best of our ability. Well, the ultimate resource is being resourceful, right? So use your phone. There's probably people that live inside of it, right? They're called contacts, and start calling them. It costs nothing. Now, if you're like, but Pablo, I don't want to alienate my friends and scare people away or make them think that all I want is to sell them real estate. Cool. I'm going to give you guys a secret. Are you guys ready for it? It's the best tool in my business, one of the best tools in my business. And it works. And again, it doesn't cost you anything. Are you guys ready? Using your phone, you're going to hold it out like this. You're going to turn on the camera and you're going to shoot a video. And then you're going to send that video to somebody. I know, it's crazy. Video text messages, guys. It works. It's a great way to build rapport. It's a great way to check in on people. If you're like one of those, I don't want to alienate my friends and family, or I don't want to bother people, I don't want to interrupt them. First of all, stop that, because read Fanatical Prospecting by Jed Blount. He talks about how as salespeople, we are professional interrupters. So I'm blessing all of you guys now. I'm giving you guys all permission to go be professional interrupters. Just go interrupt people. Guess what? If people are busy at work, they won't answer your call. And then I always get this is the follow-up question to that. Well, Pablo, when's the best time to call? I don't want to call them in the morning because they're busy getting ready for work. I don't want to call them mid-morning because they just got to work. I don't want to call them at lunch because they need to eat. I don't want to call them in the early afternoon because they're driving their kids to soccer practice. I don't want to call them in the evening because they're having dinner. I don't want to call them at night because I'd rather be watching Netflix. I don't blame you. Me too. Do you guys get my point? If we always give ourselves an excuse, there's never going to be an ideal time. Just call. If they're available, they'll answer their phone. They have the option, right? They'll see your name come up, and if they want to talk to you, they'll go, hey, May, how's it going? Right? If they don't answer, video text message. And here's your script. Hey, May, it's Pablo. It's been a little while, and I just wanted to let you know how appreciative I am of you. I really care about you. It's been a long time since we hung out and chatted. I hope everything's well with you and the family. Talk to you soon. Guys, just share gratitude. Since the pandemic started, I bet you could probably count on one hand how many times somebody has called to check in on you. Right? Like, we don't do it often enough. So be that person. And if you're like, I don't want to interrupt them, send them a video text message. So we're going to talk about some prospecting methods. So if you have your guide, this is on page 4 in the PDF if you're following along with the guide. So there's different prospecting methods that you can share your message through. So we have phone or face-to-face. Who here has tried any of these methods on the screen? For sale by owners, expired listings, May, which ones have you done?
I did door knocking only one time. And I do volunteer work in the community. I did a neighborhood appreciation last spring in my neighborhood, did like about 55 doors, giving them gift, expecting nothing. Got thank you cards back. I called some lenders completely out of Santa Cruz to build a relationship and do business. I didn't get any referrals. I didn't refer them anybody. Also. But it was just my ideosity. I could totally refer them people. I didn't. I always prefer to keep our Santa Cruzers in business.
I love that. So when you went out door knocking, did, you know, I see you're alive, you're still here. So obviously you made it out alive.
I did, and it was really fun. Actually, I really liked it, but it is really time intensive. You are totally right about that. You want to meet with people and talk with people, and I did contact with people, but when you have a contact, you start talking, and time is clicking, and you also want to build relationship, but time is clicking. You know, it's like little catch-22, but it's also not. I don't know how to explain. I did 22 doors, and I think I did like 12 contacts.
22 doors, 12
Talk
contacts.
with people. Yeah.
Guys, those are incredible numbers. Guess what? People are home. A lot of people are working from home. Again, I'm giving you guys permission. I'm blessing you guys all to be professional interrupters. You guys can stop by and knock on people's doors and bug them. So Ramon, she's on here. She's part of our team. We actually door knocked on Friday around one of our listings. So one of the things that we talk about on our team is neighbor only open houses, right? Now there's two reasons why we do neighbor only open houses. What do you guys think those are?
You're prospecting for seller leads.
Yes, Julia, crushing it. Absolutely. We're prospecting for seller leads, right? Why else? So that's number one. Why else would we want to do a neighbors only open house?
Well,
The neighbors had friends that wanted to move into the neighborhood. Invite them first.
Yes, the neighbors have friends, invite them to the neighbor. Yeah. It's highly likely that they want to pick their neighbors. That's how I joke, right? That's usually one of my opening lines. Like, hey, we're doing this open house. Who do you know that wants to be your neighbor? Which one of your friends wants to live in the area? The other reason I do them, guys, is because I don't want the nosy neighbors showing up at the open house with my buyers. Like when there's live buyers and live, you know, potential people, I don't want that nosy neighbor being like, this doesn't have as good a view as my apartment. Like, oh, I can't believe they did that with the windows. Ew, oh my God, I can't believe they picked this flooring. Like, I don't want that. I don't want you at my open house with potential buyers. So I'm going to invite you, bring you in sooner. To Julia's point, one, I'm prospecting for seller leads. Again, what I'm going to talk to you guys about is you don't have to, like, real estate is a very, very simple business, but it's not easy, right? It's simple, but not easy. And what I want you guys to get is like all of these things, right? There's like, I don't know, 25 things written on this slide that you can do. Pick one. Pick one and focus on that one. Tatiana, I see you raised your hand. What's going on? Tatiana, do you have a question?
We cannot hear you, Tatiana.
Okay. Julia, do you have a question?
Yes, my question is just out of curiosity, your designated farm that you have, how often do you door knock in that area? I know you're going to obviously drip on it with some type of marketing campaign. Is it once a quarter? How frequent should you be knocking in that area? Just out of curiosity.
Great question. Is this in regards to a specific listing, or is this in regards to like a geographical farm?
For a geographical farm specifically.
Awesome. So if I'm focusing on a geographical farm, I want to door knock that area at least once a month. So I want to make sure that they're seeing me. And the way I approach it is I want to be the mayor of that area, right? So like when I'm walking down the street, I want people to wave at me. I'm like super friendly. Like when people are walking their dogs, I want them to know who I am. And the way you do that, always come from contribution, always come from value, and just be seen. I always say the the 3 rules to incredible lead generation is make friends, make sense, and you'll make money. Right? Going back to message and method, like make friends. Am I being kind, friendly? People like me? And then is what I'm offering, does that make sense to them? Because I can talk to Julie, and Julie, we'll get to your question in a second. I can talk to Julie about real estate till I'm blue in the face, but if she has 0 interest in buying or selling or investing in real estate, the best script is never going to get her to take action. Are you guys with me on that?
Yes,
So
I want to ask you, what are these 3 things? Did you say 3 things?
make friends, make sense, you'll make money.
And what are those for?
For lead generation. So anytime you're approaching lead gen, first focus on making friends. All right, Julie, what's your question?
So when you're door knocking for your farm, how would you suggest that some of us up in the mountains do that? Like my farm is literally in the mountains, and walking across people's properties in the mountains isn't always the best idea. So would you do monthly mailers twice a month in that case?
So I would do monthly mailers, absolutely. With those bigger farms or like hard to walk farms, doing community events is huge, right? So I'm always looking. My coach always talks to me about 1 + 1 can't equal 2. Right. So what he means by that is anytime we're doing something like lead generation or prospecting, we want to make sure that there's multiple wins in whatever we're doing. So if I'm door knocking, right, for example, I want to make sure that I'm not just door knocking for the sake of door knocking. I want to make sure that I'm door knocking to find potential sellers, right? So I'm going there with a purpose, with an intent. In your case, Julia, if you have a big spread out farm, I'm going to find a way or look for ways where I can find a leveraged win and try to bring in as many people to me without having to necessarily walk across like the mountains and across people's, big properties and stuff. So key relationships. Let's talk about that. Corporations, builders, banks, third-party data companies, investors.
I want to ask one thing, Pablo. I'm sorry interrupting you, but Julie was saying about like doing being familiar with the mountains. I would try this. Mojo cells. When you get in the Mojo cells, you can see their name, address, email, and their primary address, mailing address. Maybe they own that house, but they are living somewhere else. So what I would do, if I am like really obsessed about that, I would go one by one, all those farming area to send them a handwritten letter or like completely targeting them, postcards to their primary address. I don't know, they live in San Diego, send it over there because Spencer is living here.
I send handwritten. I don't do anything typed or mailer stickers or the Post-it. No. Yeah. So I do send it. If it is a rental, I send it to wherever their house is.
Guys, there's a huge opportunity with people who are investing who don't live here. A lot of people are looking to move their money out of California. So to May's point, like really looking into the property details, finding out who owns the property, what is their actual mailing address, and, you know, is it an investment property? Is it their primary residence? That's huge, 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 huge. All right, so let's dive deep and let's really get into some prospecting methods in our last 29 minutes together. So being prospecting based, marketing enhanced, we're going to talk about door knocking, agent to agent referrals, open houses, and everybody's favorite, social media. Yay, right? So door knocking. We have a global pandemic going on. It's a little weird right now. At the same time, door knocking is allowed. Just we're back to being allowed to do that. I would confirm that with your broker. Make sure you're not breaking any rules or anything like that. At the same time, let's talk about it. So the model with door knocking is, what's our approach? Act, ask, and advance. So with door knocking, it's great to help you build a farm. It's great for getting that face-to-face interaction so that you can start building those relationships and people can really start remembering who you are and associating you with real estate. Door knocking also gives you the ability to enhance your prospecting with marketing materials. So like neighborhood updates, what's going on in the market. October, we have like the time change, right? Those funny things. And then of course, let's talk about some of the limiting beliefs around door knocking. I see May, she's pointing to herself. So what are some of the limiting beliefs you guys have around door knocking? It doesn't work, takes too long. Nobody wants to talk to somebody that knocks on their door. What are some of those limiting beliefs you guys have?
Bothering people while they're at home.
Bothering people.
You don't believe it, but I get shy.
You get shy. You
Yeah,
do
you
not
wouldn't
get
believe
shy.
that. Yeah.
You're right. I don't believe that. I
But
don't believe
after like 5 times, like I did it one time. I don't have any comparable times. I only did one time. After fifth one, I was more relaxed. But 5, I was really shy and scared. And I am English second language speaker. I freaked out. But luckily, the area I did, they were mostly Spanish speakers. So worked out okay.
Awesome. So when it comes to the approach and the limiting beliefs, like what else is holding you guys from door knocking? Any other limiting beliefs?
I don't like answering my door when people come to my door. So that's a huge one for me, but I'm understanding that how I feel is not how everybody feels. So I need to get over that, but I'll just be honest and share that.
Yeah, I don't like answering my door to strangers, right? I'm right there with you, Julia. At the same time, I love door knocking. So what if I told you you can find $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 behind a door? You just have to go find the right one.
Well, see, that's what I'm trying to tell myself because I've done a lot of open houses since I started with Keller Williams, which I started back in May. And I'm comparing my results to results of associates that I have who do actively and consistently door knock on a regular basis. And I'm seeing that they're able to grow their database in a shorter amount of time. So it is more productive in terms of you're getting in front of people pretty quickly. If you think about it, you're not waiting for them to just drop on by. And these are seller leads. These are the leads that I would like to focus on. So that's the exact mindset shift that I am currently having right now.
I love that. So if you're doing open houses, going back to the leveraged wins, it's all about, like, you can't, if your strategy is going to be open houses, it shouldn't just be like, hey, I'm going to take a couple hours out of my weekend and time with my family to just go sit in an empty house. Again, it has to be purposeful. Like, go out, door knock, talk to the neighbors. And the reason I say that is because you're auditioning. Ramon was with me door knocking, and she's like, why are we door knocking the neighbors? I'm like, because I want them to see that I'm different than every other agent. Every other agent that has sold a house in this area has not come and knocked on their door, has not come and invited them to a neighbor only open house. Right. So I'm always looking for little things that I can do differently that are going to make me stand out. And then I always look at it like this. I'm always auditioning. I'm auditioning for my next listing. And when people are looking to sell, they're going to be like, okay, well, do I want to work with Bob, or do I want to work with Pablo, who has sold 5 houses in this community, and every time he has a listing, he comes and knocks on the door and talks to us and all of this other stuff. So get real clear, because door knocking works. People are friendly. They won't hurt you, I promise. Yes.
Hey, Pablo. So I got a question, and
Yeah.
it's, I guess, maybe Keller Williams centric, related. So if you convince another Keller Williams agent that you'll sit in their house for an open house, something that they don't have time to do, how many of those neighborhoods do you think the neighbors' doors have been knocked on? Or how wrong or right would it be to also offer this neighborhood open house, say an hour before the open house starts or something like that? How involved should somebody get, or is that kind of crossing a line?
I don't think it's crossing a line at all. Like, with our culture, I'd like to think that have more of an abundance mindset than a lack mentality, right? So it's like, if you wanted to do my open house and you wanted to door knock the entire community before the open house, like, dude, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna let you do every single one of my open houses, right? And like, dude, if you find yourself a lead from that, it's all yours. Like, I would definitely, if that's a strategy you're looking to do, also offer that to the listing agents in the office, right? Talking about different ways you can make yourself stand out from other agents. Well, hey, like, if you're too busy to do your own open house, I'm willing to do your open house. I'm going to make you look great. I'm going to go invite all of the neighbors. I'm going to capture all of that information, and let's get more listings, right?
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Pablo. And I'm Levi, and I change people's lives.
Yes. Yes. So I love that, Levi. Thank you so much for jumping in. So approach, know your script. Know your script. Know what it is you're going to be talking to people about. If it's a neighbors only open house, it's an easy script. Hey, Julie, my name's Pablo. I'm a local agent here in the area. We're actually doing a neighbors only open house this afternoon from 1 to 3 before the general public gets a chance to come out. We'll have some light refreshments and stuff. So if you want to come out, just come on over.
Awesome. I'll bring my friend who wants to get into the school.
Beautiful, beautiful. Bring them down. I'd love to meet them. Easy script. All I'm doing is I'm just inviting them, right? Actively listen. So come from contribution, offer value, right? Guys, we are so lucky that we are in an industry that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody's always interested in what's going on in real estate. Everybody always wants to know what's going on in the market, right? So know your numbers, know what is actually going on in the market, and be able to talk to that, right? Always have a couple talking points. If you log into your MLS, in that first page in your MLS, there's a hot sheet and it tells you how many properties sold, how many went listed, expired, all of that stuff. Check it every day and just make a note of it. So you have those numbers to share. Tatiana asked in the chat, how do I get information about owners for an expired listing? So there's different services you could use to find that information. My team uses Land Voice. So it's a monthly subscription program that we pay for. And they go through and they pull all of the expireds for sale by owners, and then they scour the internet to pull the phone numbers and they scrub them for us. So ask for business, ask for referrals, ask for permission. Ask for permission to stay in touch. So if you're going out, if you're talking to people, if you're door knocking, you've committed, you're using all your energy, you're going out, you're talking to people, make sure that you're asking for the business, right? I'll say this here. I have lost more business by not asking for it than by being too pushy. In fact, I've only ever been told that I was pushy once in my entire sales career. And that's because I was like, how far can I go with somebody before I cross that line? So it was actually like on purpose, right? I wanted them to be like, dude, you're being too much. But ask for the business, right? You're already talking to them. Might as well just ask, hey, by the way, who do you know? Who do you know that wants to move into your neighborhood? By the way, do you need any help around the house? Do you need a referral for a landscaper? Do you need a referral for a roofer? Do you need a referral for a plumber? I got a guy. I'm the guy that has a guy, right? Come from contribution. And then advance, add those contacts to your database. Add those contacts to smart plans. Drip on them, love on them, all of that good stuff. All right, agent to agent referrals. We're gonna have to fly through this material because we got 17 minutes left. I love agent to agent referrals. This is like a core piece of my business right here. And of course, being Keller Williams, we have a model for how do you grow your agent to agent referrals. So I'm gonna stop the share real quick. Bring up my command.
I want to ask you something. You said you are going to ask when you door knock, excuse me, who do you know wants to move into neighborhood? Do you need anything around the house like plumber, painter? I could refer some business to you. And let me know if you need anything around here. I'm always in your service any way I can. Is it like so dirty or cheesy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No. Listen, if you're coming from contribution, it's not cheesy at all, right? So if you guys go into command, this little tab right here, it's the referrals tab. You can click on map. Let me show you guys something really cool. You can click on right here where it says production, click on referral patterns. So here's my office, Cupertino. You can see where referrals are going. So most referrals from Cupertino are going out to Los Gatos, Austin, Texas, Saratoga. And if you click on this down arrow, you can see where referrals are coming from. So look at this, Scottsdale, Arizona, Portland, Maine.
That's amazing.
San Clemente, California. So now let's do Scottsdale. So we're gonna go to Arizona. And then I'm gonna click on production. Let's do Scottsdale. And now if I click on this, Boom. 107 agents inside of Scottsdale. And now I can literally just add these people to my referral network and start growing my agent to agent referral network with the people that I know are sending business here. And guess what? You could use a video text message to introduce yourself. Like, hey, May, it's Pablo. Listen, I'm also Keller Williams agent out here in the Cupertino, Silicon Valley area. I see that you're in Scottsdale. Listen, I want to connect with you. I want to grow my agent to agent referral business. So if you know of any needs to be taken care of, I would love to chat with you about what my team does differently to really make sure we help our referral partners out. And get really, really specific on like, where's business coming from? And then where's business going? So then you can also talk to your clients and be like, hey, most people are moving to Boise. We're seeing a lot of people moving to Austin, Texas, right? So there's a lot of opportunities here. And when I talk about real estate and who I am and all of this, I don't like, when we're talking to our database and we're growing our database, I don't care if you're buying a house here in Silicon Valley, if you're buying a house in Washington, DC, if you want to buy a house in South Africa, I don't care. Anywhere in the world, I will connect you with somebody and I will take my 25% referral fee. Guys, it's crazy. It's crazy how we can get paid and how many like different streams of revenue we can create for ourselves just for connecting people. So stop thinking locally, stop thinking small, and start thinking big, start thinking globally, right? Keller Williams is darn near every country now. So it doesn't matter where somebody is moving or where they want to buy or where they want to invest. We can connect them with somebody, and you can get paid for connecting them to somebody. Yes, May, what's going on?
I want to ask you one thing about this referral. It was a topic on Lab Coats Agent Facebook group. If you're familiar with it, I don't know. Let's say I refer you in Miami, you're in Miami, one customer, and then he bought one, and then he bought another one in a sometime soon. I get only one referral fee, right? Not every real estate move, my referral client does business with you only one time, right?
It depends on how you write the referral agreement.
Ooh.
So you can write the referral agreement so that, you know, you get paid on every transaction for like a period of like 24 months of like whether they buy, whether they sell, like what I like to do, and this will help you guys. So if you get a referral, right, and somebody sends you a referral agreement, standard 25% for one transaction, right? Great. You're going to do that deal, pay them their 25% referral fees. Let's say that client decides to do another purchase or do another sale, and there's no referral agreement between you and that other agent anymore. Pay them anyways. If you want to grow your agent, your agent to agent referral network and business, pay them anyways. Because they'll be like, oh my God, May was able to help out Emma, and you know, she bought and sold, and like I was only expecting to get paid on one of those transactions, and then all of a sudden I get another check in the mail from May. Like, I'm going to keep sending business to May because she's going to make sure that I get taken care of too. All right,
You are going to talk about me with other agents in your area, in your association, and then keep raining referrals to me.
Exactly. Another great way to do this, teach. There's a reason why I teach classes, guys. The farther, the better. And guess what? I'm probably going to try to find a teaching opportunity in Scottsdale, Arizona, to earn referrals, right? Come from contribution, come from value. That's another easy way to build your agent referral business. Okay, I see a couple hands up.
Excuse me, Pablo, about this referral that I talked in the, at the beginning about, from Canada. So is it, should I accept it? But I have no idea about that.
I would be a little weary with that one. I'm always weary with people who email me and like, hey, do you need more leads or stuff like that? So I would just kind of like do a little bit more research, find out who they are and if they're real. Levy, you have a question?
Thank you, Pablo. When you have somebody who wants to find an agent in a different area, whatever that area might be, do you do any market analysis or neighborhood analysis or anything, or is it just simply as shallow as referring a person's name? Do you do anything for them or just refer them to another agent?
So I do like to be a little bit more involved. So I will usually actually interview or talk to at least 2 or 3 different agents in that area on behalf of my client first, get to know them, find out what their personality type is, what their strengths are. And then after I've kind of like vetted them, then I'm going to pass on 2 or 3 agents information. Right. And then I stay very much on top of the agent and the referral person to make sure that the ball isn't dropped anywhere.
I think I got it. So you don't really do anything from a property standpoint. You're just vetting the agent for your friend or your customer.
Exactly. Because I am not an expert in that area. So like my value in that is 0. So I'm going to stay in my lane and I'm going to focus on what I'm really great at, which is connecting people, talking to people, and then referring them. Miguel, I see you have a question.
Yes. About a few minutes ago, you were showing us Scottsdale and all the agents that are in Scottsdale.
Mhm.
I'm currently looking for an agent in Puerto Rico. As far as kind of knowing who to choose, because I don't have any connections over there, how would you suggest going about that process?
Awesome. So there's a couple ways that you can go about it. Number one is social media, right? So in Facebook, there's all of these referral groups like Keller Williams Referral Network, Lab Coat Agents Referral Network. I would advise to get into those groups and start posting on them. So if you're looking for somebody in Puerto Rico,
yes,
great, post in there. Hey, I have a client that's I'm looking to connect with an amazing agent in Puerto Rico. Who do you know? And then everybody's going to be like, oh, you should call Garrett, you should call Zara, you should call Ramon, you should call Julia. And then like from there, you can kind of pick. And then guys, the fastest way to earn referrals is to give referrals. So if you're wondering why you're not getting referral business, it's probably because you're not doing a lot of referring. So this strategy does take a little while longer. You know, you are paying between 25 to 30%, depending on what you work out with the person per lead. At the same time, agent to agent referrals are amazing because you don't have to cold call anybody. And get this, what is today's class all about? Lead generation, right? Prospecting. What should real estate agents be doing every day? Lead generation, prospecting. So talking about leveraged wins, 1 + 1 can't equal 2. If I know that Garrett is out making calls, May is out making calls, Levi is out making calls, I am going to leverage you and your actions to get referrals, right? Because as May is out doing her lead gen and her prospecting, she comes across somebody in Cupertino, wants to buy or sell. Oh, I'm going to call Pablo, right? So prospect the prospectors, leverage their actions, leverage their database, right? Now you guys see where I'm going with this? Okay. Open houses. So we got 4 minutes left, so I'm going to kind of like fly through this a little bit. And you guys have been great. There's been a lot of great questions. So hopefully you guys have found our time together valuable thus far. Open houses, guys, huge opportunity. Door knock the open house, meet all the neighbors. Social media, if you are not doing a Facebook Live, an Instagram Live video, promoting yourself on social media about the open house, you're missing the boat. It doesn't matter if one person shows up or 100 people show up. What's really important about the open house is the story leading up to it and the story after it, right? Prepare, door knock, have your signs up, have your flyers done, have your masks, have your booties, prospect the area, right? Facebook leads through command is another great tool that you can use to help drive people, and then pursue. So again, ask for the appointment. I'll give you guys a quick model because I know we're a little short on time. For open houses, as far as scripts, it's LP Mama. Have you guys heard of that? So location, price, motivation, agency, mortgage, appointment. So this is a basic general outline for open houses on how you can communicate to lead to more appointments. So location, hey, what do you think about this neighborhood, May? What do you think about the schools? What do you think about this? Price, is this in your price range? Like when you're out looking at properties today, is this in the bottom of your range? Is this at the top of your range? Or are we talking about a completely different price point? Motivation. Guys, here's a great question. When you want to find out and get information from somebody else, this is the magic tool. What is going on in your world? Garrett, what is going on in your world that is, has you coming out and looking at open houses on a Saturday? What I'm really asking is, what's your motivation, right? Without explicitly saying what's your motivation. So what is going on in your world that is getting you to consider buying a house? Agency, hey, so are you working with somebody? Don't ask that. They're going to say yes. Say, great. So has a real estate agent walked you through and signed you up as an exclusive agency to protect you? What? Protect me how? Well, there's a lot of legal things that agents can and can't do based on agency. So I just want to make sure that you're protected. Have you signed up? Have you signed anything with anybody? Okay, great. Ask for the appointment. So agency, mortgage. Hey, have you already been pre-approved? What does that look like? And then, of course, the appointment. All right. Other ways to stand out for your open houses, have a speaker. So I love to have a lender at an open house with me. Because if somebody's not pre-approved, great, have you met Frank? This is Frank. You should chat with him. He can get you pre-approved right now. Right? And if they're a really good partner, they'll also help you capture more leads, right? So as those people get pre-qualified and pre-approved, they're going to come back to you and say, hey, Pablo, you remember Julia, we met her at the open house. Well, she's pre-approved and ready to go. Boom. So hosting a speaker, I love using lenders. Offer a gift. So if you have like a really high-end listing and you're doing a neighborhood only, a neighbors only open house, you can do like an iPad giveaway, like when the property sells, right? And the way I've seen that done is guess the sales price. And when the property sells, if you were the closest one, you get an iPad. Get the house in showing shape. Couple things you should always carry with you in your car, aside from like the standard like showing stuff, is a handheld vacuum, paper towels, and this is the big one, guys, toilet paper. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And then, of course, go live. So we talked about social media and going live. With social media, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because we're already at the top of our time together. But I will say this. When it comes to social media, you guys, it's very easy to fall into the trap of, look at me, look at how great my life is. I put this property on the market. It's sold in 3 days with 17 offers for 50 grand over. Like, nobody really cares about that story except like your spouse and your mom. Tell better stories. A better story is, hey, I met Garrett at an open house 2 months ago. And, in the last 2 months, we've helped him repair his credit. We've helped him get pre-approved. And now Garrett has actually closed on his first home. Go Garrett. Like, that is a much more like compelling story than like, hey, Garrett just closed his house. Pablo sold another one, right? Another one. The other thing with social media is be authentic. Like, you really do look like that. You really do sound like that. So videos won't hurt you. They won't kill you, right? And just be authentic, guys. One of our agents, her name is Brandy Christensen. She's out of Sacramento. She's really taken to just being super raw and super authentic on her social media. So like when she's having a bad day, instead of like posting a picture of like, hey, everything's great and blah, 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 she'll be like, guys, today was terrible. And she'll go live and she'll do a whole video on like real estate and what the market is doing and her experience. And by being more authentic and like real, she's like made way more connections, built a ton of relationships. And guess what? People want to work with people that are like them. Real estate is crazy. Real estate is not, it's not the same thing every day, right? Every day is different. And some days are easier and harder than others. So don't be shy about telling all the stories, the wins and the losses, because people want to know you're a human. They want to know you're real. With social media, this is a good kind of balance. If you're looking like, how much should I talk about real estate versus how much like personal stuff should I post? So for every one business post, you should do about 4 personal posts, because again, the posts that get the most reactions and the most engagement are usually posts about my dogs or my wife. Like, those get the most engagement. My real estate posts, they don't get a lot of engagement, but they do get a lot of eyes, right? So understand that your social media is really about you. People want to see what's going on in your life. Now, obviously, if your business is booming, talk about it. Like, again, I'm giving you permission to brag about your business, to talk about how great you are, because you guys are great. All right. So AHAs from today's session. So AHA stands for Agents Helping Agents. So if you guys have gotten value from today's class, let's hear it. What are some of your takeaways from our hour together? I'm going to stop the share. Jump on in. You don't have to raise your hand. Just jump in.
So I think this agent to agent referral and the way you showed me, it was aha moment. And then asking about, when you door knock, about if you need anything around the house, just let me know. I can find you like painter, or it's none of my business, but I like to help. I like to help my fellow neighbors or my, whatever. That was also second aha. Video text. I know you have been talking about that. I have heard you talking about that. Did I do it? Nope. But it's still, yeah, to-do list.
So you will. May is going to send
I
out
will.
video text messages today. Who else has some ahas? Thank you, May. That's awesome.
I'm with May on the video text. I've done a couple, but I need to get back in it. Yeah.
Like
Video
Siri,
text
go ahead.
for
Go ahead, sorry.
video text for open houses, guys. After you're done putting up the signs and everything, when you're like still fresh and looking good before the open house, just grab your phone real quick and just do a quick video like, hey, it's Pablo. We met at 123 Main Street. Thank you so much for coming by the open house. I'm going to be following up with you later this afternoon. So if you have any questions about the home buying process, let me know. Shoot that video once early. And then before you go home, before you leave the property, you're going to take your sign-in sheet and you're going to blast that video text message to everybody that came by. Because if you wait until you get home, you're never going to do it. So just shoot a quick video. And then at the end of your open house, anybody that came by the open house is going to get that video text message from you. Who else has an aha?
Thank you very much for coming my open
Right.
house.
Good idea.
I think I can just kind of jump in a little bit really quick.
Yeah.
I learned, yeah, all the good you saying, stay in balance and be authentic. So we honor that, which is good job. Excellent.
Thank you, Frank. I love that.
Thank you.
And then
Anybody
Pablo,
else?
I guess for me, I have a couple things. I really enjoyed today's session. I thought you breaking down the whole, coming from a just an area of contribution. I thought that was great. And then secondarily, I also thought it was great that you said, you don't have to be talented or a great salesman or, all these things that we think we might need. All we need is that commitment, that dedication, that attitude. And so that was great. And then lastly, I loved the additional income streams, going over that and really teaching us how we can grow our business, and kind of being able to see it from a slightly higher level, like where you're coming from, is something that was great for me to kind of try to aspire to. And also that there's that option available. There's something else to work towards.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Candace. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, guys, we can make money in so many different ways. And if you think about our business in simplest terms, we're connectors, right? We find a buyer, we find a seller, we connect them, and we get out of the way, right? So same thing like to May's aha was, being able to offer vendors and things like that. Like, hey, if there's a need, I'm going to connect you with somebody who can help you with that need. Same thing with real estate. Hey, if you're moving to South Africa, Puerto Rico, Mexico, like, I don't care. I can find you a real estate agent there and I can get paid on it. So why wouldn't I? We got time for one more.
The iPad giveaway, the neighbors only open houses, anything that you do as a gift after the sale, like you mentioned, donating instruments, all of that stuff. Other people have mentioned it, but it's just reminding, continuing to remember those concepts, those models, to model my early career off of, so that when I have the resources to do that, I'm ready to do it because I remember it from all of these different great sources.
I love that. And Garrett, find something that really speaks to you, right? So I sponsor dogs and I do guitars because that speaks to me, right? So rescuing dogs and sponsoring dogs, like, yes, oh my God, Garrett, you're my new best friend. We need to hang out more. but like a guitar like costs like 100, 200 bucks, like for a student model with like a little pack and amp and all of that stuff, which is more than enough to get started. And when you're making like 5, 10, 15, $20,000, 30, $40,000 on a closing, what's 100 bucks? To us, it's not a whole lot, but to somebody else, like, guys, I'm gonna get teary-eyed just talking about this. Like, seeing the faces on some of these kids when they get their instruments, and the way I do it is I tell the parents, I go after parents and I'm like, listen, like if you're having a hard time, like no questions asked, like I don't want the win. The win isn't for me. I want you to be the winner. Like I want you to be the hero in your kid's eyes. And like just I'm getting so emotional just talking about like the emotion from the parents to be able to give their kids a gift, and then seeing the kids like light up because they've always wanted to do it, and like just go make some terrible sounds and piss off the neighbors and all of that good stuff. Like it's amazing, right? And that's what keeps me going. So when I look at my business and I'm planning for next year, because business planning season is upon us, like one of my strategies is how can I give back at a higher level next year? And communicating and telling that story, because that's what's going to get people to send me more referrals, because people want to be a part of that too, right? People want to be a part of that win. People want to be a part of that story. So find something that you're passionate about, find something that really speaks to you. And I'll leave you guys with this. Just go change the world. Leave somebody better than you found them today. Like pick them up, give them a smile. Smiles are free. It doesn't cost you anything. And the best part about it all is that they're contagious, right? You have to be a real jerk to not smile back at somebody who's smiling at you. So go change some lives, go do good in the world. And thank you guys for allowing me to spend an hour with you guys.
Thanks, Pablo.
Thanks, Pablo. That was great.
Yes, thank you, Pablo.
Your time.
Appreciate you.
Pablo, as always, it was great.
Mhm.
Great seeing you
Fantastic.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to drop my phone number and email in the chat. So if you guys need absolutely anything, let me know. And then I always say this, add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram. You'll see I do a lot of posts, like anything you guys see on there that is getting a lot of engagement, rip it off, duplicate it, steal it from mine, just add it onto your page. Like I'm an open book. I have no secrets. So you guys don't even have to ask for permission. If you guys see something cool that's getting engagement, like use it on your page, and let's help each other grow our businesses. Have a great day, guys. Go do some good. And if you guys need anything, you guys know where to find me.